Every episode celebrates original content written by real people who experience real emotions. I'm Rayanne Thorn Krueger. Welcome to Real Words. So exciting. This is part 12 of the ECT series. I am Rayanne Thorn Krueger, your host, and my guest today is Aaron Hunt. He has graciously said yes, he would like to talk to me. He is one of the actors that will be performing White Rabbit, Red Rabbit. Aaron is performing on February 18th at 7 p.m. One time and one time only. He'll be performing White Rabbit, Red Rabbit. He doesn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. The audience, most of the audience doesn't know anything about it. There may be a few people in the audience that have seen it before or know the concept or know the script. The construct of this show is that Nassim Soleimanpour, who is the playwright, Iranian playwright, wrote this during a time of great challenge in his life. He was forbidden to leave his country and decided to record some of these things that happened, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. But he decided to create this play with this thing about it that is innovative, possibly immersive. We don't know. It's going to be exciting and fun and new for all of us. Aaron, thank you for joining me today.
Happy to be here.
Such a pleasure to have you. First, let's kick off and talk to you about you. Tell us a little bit about your theater experience.
Well, let's see. I suppose what's different about me as opposed to a lot of other actors that you might interview for this is that I started out as an opera singer, not as an actor.
Wow.
And so I trained to do that. And I had a career for quite some time. The trouble with that, as much fun as it is that opera acting back when I began was very stilted. It really wasn't based in honesty. It was based in this character always crosses over to stage left and sings that song. Because in opera at that time, certainly they had very little rehearsal time. So you learned everything by rote, just like you learned from music.
Interesting.
So I worked with a lot of really great directors who I suppose thought I had a goofy face and I wasn't afraid to fall on my butt. So they would sometimes offer me parts in plays, and I took them because you say yes, right?
Right.
It sounds like fun, and that's when I started learning pretty quickly that unless it was really broad comedy, me sitting in the mirror and deciding exactly what expression on my face I wanted was not going to cut it. That I actually had to be present and in the room. So that was great. And then I did study for a long time in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for more than 20 years and studied a great deal privately and in classes to try to catch up to this, what for me was a new ethic. And I also studied a lot of Shakespeare in Chicago, which I love. I really love Shakespeare. So yeah, I still sing a little bit, but I'd retired. See, I'm retired.
Oh, I don't believe that.
I couldn't stand it. I moved to Malta, and it was beautiful.
Wow.
And I lived on the ocean it was absolutely gorgeous. And I sat in the morning and had my coffee and looked at the waves. And 30 days in, I thought, I'm going to slit my own throat if I don't have a project.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
So yeah, so I'm very, very happy to be doing stuff again. And I feel like myself.
Did you buy a home in Malta?
I didn't actually buy. I was going to wait a year.
Well, that was smart.
And I'm glad that I handled it that way because the visa thing got a little squirrely. And I thought, I just really want to go home. I was starting to get work there. I started to get theater work there. But there's only so much there. It's a tiny place.
Right. Right. Well, we're glad you're here and certainly glad that you get to participate in Nassim's amazing production, White Rabbit, Red Rabbit. Why say yes to this?
I'm very honored to be asked to do this, despite spending lots of money and time training as an actor. I think I always have that, I'm a big liar. I'm just a singer thing going on in the back of my
Oh,
head.
yeah.
So when somebody offers me a play, I am always really appreciative. But this particular situation with this play, which is off the wall, is so good for someone like me because I will absolutely have to be honest and in the moment.
Right.
I
Right.
can't plan anything. And I trust me, I've given it a lot of thought to see if I can plan something. I can't think of anything to plan. The only thing I'm doing to prep is getting hold of plays that I don't know anything about and reading them aloud and walking around. I mean,
That's smart. That's smart. That's
I
really
can't
smart.
I can't think of anything else, any other way to play. But what I'll be real. And I think that experience for me will be very elevating. That doesn't mean that I will be very brilliant, but I think it will be very elevating.
Right. I just spoke with Walter Gray, and we talked about this experience being might even be life changing, right? Because you don't know what the content is. First of all, you don't know the story that you're going to be telling. The story has the potential to be pretty dramatic, right? We don't know, but we don't know what it is, and you don't know if how immersive it will be, how much the audience will be a part of it. I feel like it's going to be a big part of it because of the construct, right? The audience is going to be changed as well because of this experience. And to give the audience a little bit more information, let me pop this banner up. You, Aaron, will be performing on February 18th at 7 p.m. Folks that want to come see your performance need to go to electriccompanytheater.org and click the button that says Get Your Tickets Here. And they can scroll down to find your date, February 18th, and make sure they buy tickets. We hope that many people will come out to see all the actors. I think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. I feel like you're coming in this with the right headspace, that you're doing the prep that you can, right? So tell us about your experience with Electric Company Theater.
So this is my second show with Electric Company Theater. I was in there Much Ado About Nothing. I played Leonato and had a marvelous time. I saw their fiddler almost accidentally. I have lived a year and a half. I've lived here now, but at the time of Fiddler, I hadn't lived here an entire year.
Right,
I
right.
didn't even know about the muck. Nobody mentioned it to me in the grocery store. I
Wow.
mean, I didn't even know. But I was associated with the synagogue in town, and some of the people there told someone I knew, we're going to go see a fiddler. And I said, fiddler? There's a fiddler? Yes, I want to go. So I went to see it, and I was so impressed with the concept. I was so impressed with Brian having directed that and at the same time giving that iconic performance. And I was impressed by the way the cast treated each other in between scenes, helping each other out, handing people props and whatever it was they needed
Right.
for the next scene. I was just so pleased at the energy. And I thought, this is one of those places I would like to work. As I've told my students in the past, if you're in a room and you look around and nobody's got your back, that's not your room. Those aren't your people. Get out of that
Right.
room.
Get out of
Uh,
that room.
right away, Electric made me feel like I was home. I was safe.
I love that. I feel the same way. I've enjoyed every show I've seen and participated in, and I really look forward to seeing you in this White Rabbit, Red Rabbit at electriccompanytheater.org. Before we get away, you said you're retired. I'm assuming that's just from opera or theater. Are you still working? What do you do during the day?
I don't really do a day job.
Oh,
I have
good.
been blessed for many years now to be able to act and direct and write and
Lucky
you know,
you.
just do the arts thing.
Right.
And so basically, I just jump back in.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, one of the questions that I'm asking the actors is, when you consider the work that you did before you don't have a day job now, do you think that theater had an impact on that work? Do you think that you have taken theater with you throughout your life, whether it's work or even grocery shopping or whatever, the things that you do regularly in life? Has theater impacted you in a way that's changed that?
I love that question. That's a great question. Um, I always ended up in middle management. I always ended up with the job that I didn't have the education for, because I had a music education degree, a Bachelor of Science in
Okay.
Music Education, and somehow I was the manager of a bank and way up in an advertising agency and all of these other things. I would
Wow.
get promoted and promoted and promoted. But one of the ways that I did that, not intentionally, but what I did was work with my staff in their presentation. I was able to say, let me talk to you about what I just saw there. Your body energy said this, even though your mouth said that. And that's not the way to secure the client.
Right.
And it seems simplistic, but it really is relatively easy to teach. I
Right.
mean, you can't make someone a polished actor, but you can give them the right way to speak to someone so that they feel connected and heard, and that they
Right.
get the information they need. Um, I can teach people to have a smile in their voice.
Right. And you certainly do. I love that, Erin. Well, we look forward to seeing you on stage on February 18th, 7 p.m. Folks can head out to the website and for sure check out where Erin's slot is. Click on it, buy tickets, and come see him. We look forward to seeing you on stage. Erin, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.